Hey all, it's Anthony. Video number 5 of this lovely video vlog, if you will. I kind of wanted to touch base on some stuff that's been going on in the media about the whole case of rape and the whole court decision and how the media has been spinning all this stuff out in Ohio. If you don't know the story, a group of high school kids all got drunk, and basically it's that whole kind of if they wanted to write a movie about it, all the high school jocks raped the poor little 16-year-old girl who was also drunk, etc., etc., etc. And it just kind of really sickens me how the media has been spinning it lately of these poor boys, the drinking led them to a bad decision, that they had all these promising futures and that they were high school stars and they could have had scholarships to college, etc., etc., etc. And they really talked nothing about how this poor 16-year-old girl got raped, how she's probably forever going to be scarred from this situation, and it's just kind of wretched, if you will. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why I think things like rape and harassment and bullying and a whole slew of other things happen, and it kind of, for me, goes back to this whole lack of respect. Respect for our differences, respect for culture, respect for uniqueness, respect for rights that we both perceive and we are born with. Right to personal space, right to privacy, all this other fun stuff. It's just this lack of respect. I know I'm a child of the 80s. I'm 28. I'll be 29 in a couple weeks. I've got the gray hair to prove it. But our culture nowadays is so disrespectful towards one another. We tend to scream at each other about politics, about our differences, how I don't know, it's just this whole lack of respect. And if we can blame our parents, whatever, you can blame video games, you can blame the movies, but it's your own. You have to make the decision to be respectful yourself. You can be only taught or try to be taught or educated so much. It is up to you as an individual, as a human being, to be respectful to another person. And that's basically what it boils down to. I don't necessarily know. I have 7 sisters. I'm the oldest. And I have 7 little sisters. Some of them have kids of their own now. But I don't know what would happen if someone were to do something to my sisters and one of them would come to me saying that their boyfriend or the person that they're dating or their husband or whatever raped them. Yeah, I would probably go Big Brother and probably go to jail. Go all Big Brother and probably end up going to jail. Sorry, let me rephrase that. And rightfully so, I should go to jail. But I just respect my sisters. Haha. I don't do family a lot, but you respect my sisters. So I'm going to give you some statistics that I found and resources for people out there. 70-80% of all rape victims actually know and trust their rapist. Which is kind of scary when you think about it, because you never know when or who. That's basically what it boils down to. Nearly 70% of all sexual assaults in the United States do not get reported, and which is kind of scary. And part of that is on the victim. Part of that is just because people don't understand. And even scarier is that of that 70%, of non-reported sexual assaults in the United States, that number is actually statistically higher in the LGBT community, just because there are so many issues that are added to the situation of, there's transphobia, there's homophobia. If someone's not out to anyone or out to themselves yet, that they don't want to talk about that. And so statistically it's probably 80 to 90% higher in the LGBT community in reports or instances of sexual assault. They did a study where 1 in 6 men throughout their lifetime will be a victim of sexual assault, and 1 in 4 women will be a sexual assault victim. They did a study down in, I think, Arizona. It's the Duncan study in the psychological, it's someplace, psychological reports. You like my, can you even read it? But my notes, they're all circled and stuff. Oop, there you go, you can kind of see it that way. That statistically, the straight community, 17.8% of straight women reported in this survey as being a victim of sexual assault, and 3.6% of straight men, yes, men, straight men and gay men can be raped or sexually assaulted. 3.6% of straight men reported being sexually assaulted, while in the LGBT community, 30.6% of the lesbian community reported being a victim of sexual assault, and 11.8% of the gay male community that was surveyed identified as being sexually assaulted. This study was done in '97 in Arizona, and it was on a university campus. And I haven't been able to find anything to compare it to yet, but that just means that we're almost, in a LGBT community within our female population, we are, double that of the straight female population in sexual assault, and 3 to 4 times higher statistically in the gay male population. In a lot of sexual assault reports, they don't normally ask for sexual orientation, so it's been really hard to track all the data. And it's kind of mind-boggling. I also did some studies or some research just on cityrating.com, and in 2010 I did some comparisons between the Cedar Rapids Metro, the Iowa City Metro, and the Des Moines Metro. Cedar Rapids Metro in 2010 had about 45 cases of forcible rape, which I don't understand what the difference between forcible and non-forcible rape is, but they had about 45 cases of reported rape in Cedar Rapids in 2010. In the Iowa City area, there were about 35 cases of rape, and in Des Moines there were 135 cases of rapish. Now, in 2013, they're projecting that there are going to be nearly 40 cases of rape in the Cedar Rapids area. In 2013, 35 to 40 cases of rape in Iowa City. And in Des Moines, there's going to be nearly 200 cases of rape in that area. And, and statistically, Iowa, we only had 836 cases of reported rape in the state of Iowa in 2010. That's a lot. Statistically, we're Iowa, we have like 3 million people, and that is just reported instances of rape, and doesn't include all of any additional type of sexual assault or domestic violence, and or reported instances of all of that, which is kind of crazy. They also did a report that 71% of all male sexual assault victims are under 18, which is kind of crazy and kind of sad. And then I just wanted to point out that there are a couple groups that, if you know anyone who's going through stuff like this, or if you yourself need a resource, for sexual assault or domestic violence prevention or counseling or whatever. In Cedar Rapids, contact Waypoint. In Iowa City, called the Domestic Violence and an Intervention Program. And in Des Moines, they actually have the Iowa Coalition Against Sexual Assault. All of these groups have websites. They all are fantastic programs. To me, this is a very long video, and I'm sorry, but this all goes back to a lack of respect, just in general. And I think if we were more respectful towards one another, a lot of the problems that we have as a society and culture right now, we would not be dealing with. We have to understand our differences. We have to accept everyone's differences. Not everyone believes in the same religion. Not everyone looks like. Not everyone has the same sexual preference or religious preference. Or, I'm left-handed. You could be right-handed. Oh no, we're different. But I respect you, even though I still technically think with the right side of my brain, which is actually a statistic too. Look it up. But just, parents, teach your kids about respect. But don't think that respect is the only thing that you have in this world, because you have yourself, and there's a whole, that will be another video at one day. But I hope this isn't too long for everyone. It's about 11.5 minutes. I will post some links to some resources and statistics as well, and we'll just kind of go from there. Thank you guys. Have a great Tuesday. It's kind of cold here in Iowa. It's supposed to be spring here soon, but it's not. So, peace out, Girl Scout.